Hello, I am Sydney,
And I am Melanie.
and this is Drawtaneous, a show for drawing with friends.
And your wife.
And my wife, yes. Well, you're my friend too. But my lovely wife is going to roll some dice
I'm
for...
going to Vanna White for you.
Yeah, you're going to be my Vanna White, but without visuals.
All right. Here we go.
Alright, so the category is old OCs. I know which one I want to do, but...
Tell me. Are you going to make me guess?
So you don't know this one, because it's way before we met. This is like
man.
teenage angst
Oh
sort
my
of
god.
character.
Okay. Lovely.
I don't want to say what her name is, though, because it was very...
Could we, look her up on DeviantArt? Is that, how old it is?
I don't know if it's still there.
I think your DeviantArt still exists.
Well, if it's still there, I'll put it,
Yikes.
I'll put, a thing on the
Before
screen.
and after?
Yeah.
Oh god. Okay.
So...
I'm excited to see this. Okay, well... So while you get that started, we recently went to Emerald City Comic Con.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
That was fun.
It was very fun. What do you think was your favorite part of Comic Con?
Definitely Artist Alley, always. Just meeting other artists, not just for networking, but also just, watching the shit people do. And it's like, wow, that's amazing. I should do better.
Oh, don't say that.
Well, more of an inspiration sort of thing.
That's fair.
Wow, these people are doing cool shit. It makes me want to do better.
That's fair. Yeah, I think my favorite thing was kind of just walking around the show floor and Artist Alley and just finding stuff that I was like, oh my god, I need this right now. So we did pick up a bunch of fun things, but we can talk about that later.
Yeah, well,
That's this episode or next episode, but we'll see.
whenever we get to it.
Why don't we first talk about the panels? Talk about the panels. Is there anything, I have a couple that I have notes on that you might not have been at. Are there any that you want to talk about first before I bring up mine?
I mean, we should definitely just talk about the first one. I think
Okay.
Your
magic door to writing RPGs.
Yeah, that shit. That was good. I went in there expecting fuckboy nonsense, and actually got some pretty good notes out of it.
I was also expecting it to be more about, I don't know, I guess just writing in general, the actual process of writing the story. But what their focus more was writing the rule set and conceptualizing a full idea, a full role-playing game.
Yeah.
Tabletop role-playing games specifically is what we were focusing on, or what the panel was focusing on.
Yeah.
And I should have written down their names. I definitely didn't.
I'm sure we could check the panel list.
We could. Maybe I should have done a little more research about that.
Oh, whatever.
But one gentleman was the head librarian for a nonprofit tabletop RPG archive.
Alexandria.
Yeah,
This is the Library of
Alexandria,
Alexandria.
And that is the raddest shit I've ever heard of. Definitely something I want to follow up on and read, because I think all of their stuff is just free to browse.
Well, and it's a good reminder that games are culturally important, especially since we went through so many issues with in the past with Dungeons and Dragons is about witchcraft, and it's
Right.
well, duh.
Right.
But
And it isn't all just D&D. There's a lot of other games, a lot of other rule sets, maybe not necessarily focused around the D20 system, maybe not focused around traditional questing systems either.
yeah, when he mentioned non-leveling games, I was like, that sounds fucking boss.
And I was gonna say, I think you could make D&D a sort of non-leveling thing. It just depends on how you dole out your XP.
Yeah.
If you are more judicious, if you don't just give XP for combat, if you rather for exploration and for milestones, I think that could definitely play more into the non-violent, non-leveling.
To avoid the murder hobos.
To avoid the murder hobos. But yeah, I found that really interesting. The other gentleman, I don't remember his name, unfortunately, but he also was part of, or is part of, the tabletop RPG community as a writer, as a creator. So he was more of the moderator. I don't think we really heard much about his stuff, other than he was part of a Kickstarter that ran away with the money. Oh no.
Well, he wasn't responsible for it,
No,
thankfully.
he
He
quit.
bailed because they were really fucking awful.
Yeah. He washed his hands and went away, and I guess that was the best he
Oh,
could
dang
do.
it. I was trying to do the undo like I do on my iPad with tapping the screen, and it's oh, wait a minute.
Whoops. So what do we have going on here? We have very, very Keith-like.
Okay, look.
Do you have a type?
No.
Sydney?
No. I don't.
I see
Okay.
like a mullet going on.
All right.
here,
Do
a
you want me
Keith
to
mullet?
explain this character?
Sure. Let's pause and not pause, but let's pause from our discussion and tell me about this character.
Okay, so I'm just gonna give you her weeb name.
Okay.
It was Sabishi Hane, which
What the fuck?
which is Lonesome Feather.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh no!
This was like 100% like I was 14 when I thought up this character, and
no.
started a webcomic about her.
Oh my goodness. My sweet, sweet wife. My sweet baby wife. Oh.
So she was a master thief,
as one does.
and her whole thing was stealing from a corrupt government, a Robin Hood sort of thing,
Yeah.
to give back to the people who were being a thing. She had magic cards that could turn into specific things, a la Cardcaptor Sakura,
Oh my god.
which I actually hadn't seen until a friend watched me drawing the character and was like, "Oh wait, I have an anime you'd like," and I was like, "Fuck!"
Hey, I'm not original! Oh no!
Yeah, that was quite a reckoning I had to do.
Aw.
In more recent years, I've actually revamped her to be less weebish.
Weebish.
So now she's actually, so the oppression comes from this time ice dragons,
Okay.
who've plunged the world into a apocalyptic cold
Okay.
and eliminated fire dragons so that they could not like fix it.
I see. And how recent was this revamp?
Oh, it was like it was before we got married. I think
Okay.
it was when I was still living in Philly.
Okay.
But
I have never heard about this character. You've never brought her up until now.
well, because she doesn't have a name anymore because I haven't really thought of one.
I mean, we all start somewhere. Okay, do you want to know one of my original characters
Oh, fuck
from like
yeah.
back in the day, like middle school?
Yeah, give me the shit.
So back in middle school, I was really into the Forgotten Realms, specifically I'm gonna butcher the name because I've never heard it said aloud. Because it's literature. You never you don't know how to pronounce things if people don't say it to you.
Yeah.
So it's the Drizzt Chronicles. I'm just gonna go with that. Just say it really fast, and hopefully it's correct. But I was really into the Drizzt Chronicles, and the whole oh, it's a drow, and they're supposed to be evil, but this one's not. Which
is now every drow character
but-
people make.
But it's important because it's stereotyping. But also, it's kind of like, ooh, a white guy wrote this. So, it spoke to me as a kid. I outgrew him because he struggled too long with trying to, be accepted. And trying to change who he is to be accepted.
And it's like, I already deal with that shit in real life. I don't want to deal with it in my fiction.
I kind of fell out of love with him. He was definitely very important, and it showed in the fact that one of my original roleplay characters was I don't even remember if she was full drow, but she was definitely drow, at least half, probably full. Her name, are you ready for this?
Oh, go for it.
Her
I'm
name
ready.
was Seraphim.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't even know why. There's no reason for that name.
Oh.
Probably because I am also a massive Final Fantasy nerd, and Seraphim is very close to Sephiroth. So I wouldn't put
What a
it-
character to pick.
I know, I wouldn't put it... Well, because aesthetically, they're kind of the same. Long white hair. Obviously, Sephiroth isn't dark-skinned, but, whatever. So I have a feeling that's where that came from.
Granted, probably for the better that he's not,
Yeah,
considering he's the villain.
race coding would be really bad if they did that.
yeah.
But yeah, so that was, and she was your typical tragic drow outcast, blah 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 blah. She isn't very interesting, but she was, I think, my first foray into role-playing forums. So it was an important stepping stone in my
Your
creative development,
Oh yeah.
I suppose. But yeah, nice shadowing on the boobage you got going there.
I love boobs.
Excellent. I know you do. Shall we continue on? Was there anything else we want to talk about with your magic door to writing RPGs? Because I have
I guess like the main thing was that I pulled away from it was just I want to make a Crystal Chronicles tabletop game.
That'd be really cool. And the moderator did suggest some games that we could possibly adapt and homebrew into doing a Crystal Chronicles.
Yeah,
and I did write these down. They're both Japanese games. And I found it really interesting that out of those two games, they both share a common theme of they're not heroes and they're not going out questing necessarily. It's more about exploration, meeting people, making new connections. And so it's more about it's open world exploring, not a lot of combat, if at all. And they're not heroes. So in the first one is Ryutama, and that one definitely focuses on exploration. I kind of, from reading the hook on the book's website, because you can buy it online if you look it up, it's very Studio Ghibli-esque, where it's not like you don't have a traditional class. You're like a merchant, or you're a tailor, or you're just some person, some layman, but you band together with other people to go on this adventure for some reason or another. So that was really interesting. So it's not about being a hero and like saving the world. It's just exploring your world, which is I found really interesting. I really hope that we have the opportunity to grab that book, maybe throw a game together and try it out, because it does sound like it would fit a Crystal Chronicles homebrew. The other one that was recommended is called Golden Sky Stories. And in this one, I don't remember the specific word for the creature you play, but it is a animal-like spirit, and your whole purpose is to help people in this town be happy. So either making friends, succeeding in some way or another, but there's no combat whatsoever in this one. It's entirely you influencing this NPC world, essentially, and trying to make people happy. So both of those, I think, would be interesting to play by themselves, but also could potentially be adapted to the story of Crystal Chronicles.
Oh yeah.
Do you wanna for the kids at home who don't know what Crystal Chronicles is, do you wanna talk about Crystal Chronicles real quick? Well, it's coming out for the Switch.
Yeah, they will
very
know.
soon.
It's gonna happen.
It's coming.
I'm ready. Crystal Chronicles was a game released on the GameCube in 2005.
God, I don't remember.
Think.
And you had to have friends to play it.
Well, I mean, you could play it by yourself, but it wasn't as fulfilling. It was a...
You had to have friends with Game Boy Advances to play it.
Yeah, which I didn't have.
I'm sorry.
But it was a GameCube game in the Final Fantasy universe where the world was under an apocalyptic miasma, and in order to fix it, caravans had to travel to these crystal trees. Yeah, into the miasma.
You're basically like harvesting...
You're harvesting myrrh to power your crystal at home so you don't fucking die of miasma. And
it's like poisonous or something.
And if the caravan didn't return, like, the town perished.
Yeah.
And you actually come across ruined towns. It's kind of sad. But I like road trips and I like fantasy stuff. So it's like the perfect fucking game for me.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the Final Fantasy spin-offs I really, really enjoyed. I was a little too young to really appreciate it because, you know, it was me, my dad, my brother playing this all together.
Yeah.
And for all of us to play together, the stars had to align, essentially, because my brother and I would always be off, but then my dad would be working, or I would be off playing soccer, or my brother would be at martial arts.
You kids and your athletics.
I know. We were sporty nerds. But what I did play of it felt good. Like, what I remember of it, it was a game that I enjoyed thoroughly, and I am looking forward to playing it again when it comes out on the Switch.
God, I'm so fucking ready. Especially because I can finally play with someone.
Well, hopefully...
I have a permanent player... Well, you're not my player 2, you're like my player equal, but...
I was gonna say, I'm like, be careful, because I am better at games than you are.
Hey!
Most games.
Yeah.
I'm better at most games. You could kick my ass at Smash any day.
Oh, hell yeah. It's like the only thing I'm good at.
But yeah, I'm hoping that they don't force you to use separate Switch units to play this game together. I hope they allow the because it wasn't a split screen co-op, it was a shared screen co-op.
Yeah, everyone had to have a Game Boy Advance and the game and the link cable. So if you were a poor kid like me, you were boned.
Yeah.
You didn't get to play.
Yeah.
You didn't get to play with friends. You played by yourself, and you get frustrated because it's a long game, and you'd get your ass kicked a
And
lot.
it was so weird. There was no need to do it that way because the Game Boy Advance only acted as a controller. I don't think there was any other reason for you to have it other than just an extra controller.
It was just money grubbing.
Yeah. I think it must have been a ploy to like get people to buy more of the Game Boy Advance.
And the link cables, because,
yeah.
fucking expensive.
They definitely were expensive. But yeah, I'm hoping that you can just like play on a Joy-Con and then you can get the shared screen experience with 4 friends. Since we do have 2 Switches at our home.
Yeah.
And therefore we have 4 Joy-Cons. So that'd
Yeah,
be really exciting.
I like being an adult and having money.
Ah, the joys of being an adult nerd.
I'd say that that's a good stopping point. And actually a finished sketch. So we will see you in the next episode of Drontanius.
Woo! See you next time.